And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bubba and the Bloom, episode 300, coming at you on a Thursday evening. And as usual, nothing's changing. We're going to have a little top 20 starting pitching debates. We do this the last couple of years now. It's a good way to kick off us getting ready to do rankings and whatnot for the 2026 fantasy baseball season. Got to get ready with all of that kind of lingo. It's not 25 anymore. But we'll get to that, news, and much, much more. But before that, you can find me on Twitter at BDentric, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, and on Patreon at patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. And my co-host, as always, through all 300 episodes. You can find him on Twitter at RyanBH. Ryan Bloomfield. How we doing, my friend?
Pretty good. Pretty amazed that you've put up with me for 300 episodes times. Probably shouldn't even do the math. 60, 70 minutes per episode plus whatever before and after. It's been a fun run, man. And I don't know. I feel like we're just getting started. I feel like we're less than 300. I feel we were just talking about a bunch of plans. Quick. Yeah. Talking about a bunch of plans for the show and some other things we're doing right before we hit record tonight. So, no, congrats, man. Super proud of hitting 300. Really our consistency. It's turned into, for me, doing a podcast is what it started out as. And like the first year we just did once a week, then we went to twice a week. Then we started a Patreon, then we got new logo. Like we're kind of stepping through, and through all of that, it's still just feel like I'm talking baseball to a buddy Tuesday and Thursday nights. So kudos, man. Yeah, I could probably go on, but I won't. Folks in the chat, Mitch, here's to 300 more. Love the show. We got Pops in here. Congrats on 300. With then a just random trivia note, actually not that random. The last three to win 300 games were, and then he lists 4 guys, but that's all right. Michael C, congrats. Credit to your consistency. And Scott Burks, congrats on 300 as well. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. We've told the story on here, but in deeper stories, probably on it was on I think it was a Patreon only episode. One of the questions was, where did this all begin? So it goes way back to just hanging out on FPAS and going from there. And let's do this right after COVID, or was it COVID?
Lockout.
COVID lockout. Yeah, I remember because I heard the text.
I was on the golf course.
Yeah, I texted you, lockout's over, let's do this.
Yep. I was like, God damn it. All right, I guess.
Then we started piecing it together, and here we are. It's awesome. Like I talk to you probably more than anybody else I talk to via text or anything else. It's a lot of fun. That's why we do it. And I'm looking forward to where this keeps going, because we've always said, well, we want to keep adding to it each year. Like, not a lot. We've probably added more than we thought we would, but it all seems within our reasonable stuff at the time.
Yep.
And I like where it's going. And a lot of it, to get really goofy, besides hanging out with you, which is awesome, of course, it's the listeners and the Patreon, Discord, and just the people like that make it pretty freaking easy to do. It's knowing the support. We talk about between the Discord, when we go to FPAS, people talk to us how shocked we were in Vegas about how many people there listened. That goes a long ways, because it's not like we're becoming rich off of this, folks, by any means. It's more of a labor of love, and we reinvest, as we've seen through this. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I've obviously podcasted for years. I love podcasting. It's my vice, I would say, to get out and do it. So being able to do it with you is absolutely awesome. I've had a lot of co-hosts, and I like them all. Not downplaying all of them, but you've stuck with me longer than any other one as well. So that's good.
That says more about me, I think, than anything else. But no, shout out to the listeners, especially. And this is not a shill for the Patreon or the Discord, but it's funny. And you've done this a lot longer than I have, but I was expecting when we first started the podcast, there's all this, hoopla, whatever. And then there's just a long time of, you tweet out an episode link, get a couple likes. For a while, it's like, are we just speaking into the abyss? But since we kind of took that step to really build a community, build a Patreon, have the Discord, it's just been really cool for folks in there to get in on our inside jokes and have feedback on every single episode and talk about whatever. It's been really fun to gain a bunch of good friends in that group, and yeah, man, I'm excited for what's ahead for sure.
Yep, it should be pretty cool. But we'll leave that for maybe, sooner than you think coming up as I just looked at the calendar. Let's get into a little bit of news and notes before we have our top 20 debates that really Ryan is extremely excited about. We like doing
I'm
shows. We're
just
not joking
curious.
around.
Dude, I am just
Your texts
fascinated.
today, though, just are like every time how excited you are about this is very interesting. I don't know where you're coming from on this one. I'm worried.
We don't know each other's rankings. We just have no idea where something is going to come out that's going to be. We're going to be very far apart on certain guys. And I put the call for questions out and show questions in the Discord today. Just got spammed with like congrats and stuff. But one of the things was I think Dustin said, I hope a beer bet comes out of this episode. And I'm quite confident that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if there's only one. So let's get into a bit of the news here. We won't go deep on all of it, but some of the bigger bits of news. Emilio Pagan re-signed with the Cincinnati Reds on a 2-year deal, $20 million. He should be right back into that closing role where he shocked everybody, basically being undrafted last year and running away with that job. So he's going to move up the ADP world, obviously. So where are you at on this Pagan deal? Because I liked him. I thought he would sign somewhere and get a shot, but going back to Cincinnati might be the perfect storm, honestly.
I mean, for Pagan, it didn't matter where he signed as long as he signed somewhere where he gets a shot. And obviously that's going to happen. For Pagan, I pulled up the old ADP tracker again today and just wanted to see like, were there any shifts in prices since the re-signing? And the answer is yes. Pagan in 12 teamers had an ADP the last month or so, about 173. He was just picked in a draft earlier today in a 12-teamer at 113. So that's 60 picks, 5 rounds earlier than ADP since the signing. In 15-team drafts in the draft champions, the draft and hold, Pagan has gone 106, 109, and 103. Again, that's about 4 rounds ahead of where Pagan has typically been going. And that's pretty much all because of the somewhat certainty that he is now the guy. Just to put some perspective around, that's where like Trevor McGill is going. Trevor McGill is going like 104 over the last month. I'm trying to find some other closers. That's pretty much it.
I take Pagan.
You take Pagan over McGill?
Yeah, it's because I like McGill a lot, but he's still the Uribe / McGill thing does concern me.
Ahead of those guys is like Carlos Estevez, Devin Williams around 85, something like that. So I don't know. Yeah, that seems like a decent price for me for Pagan. Who knows how he's going to do? I mean, it's been a career of pretty much meh, but last year was really good. Not quite as good as the surface stats. HQ expected ERA was at 383 on that 284 ERA, but missed a ton of bats, threw a ton of strikes. Most importantly, had the job. So I like it. I like it for Pagan. Kudos to anyone who got him early, and now he signs with someone he's going to close with.
It's the old joke. This is why you draft early. You're going to hear that a lot this offseason before signings happen. Helsley ballooned up, Pagan ballooned up. Doesn't always work out, obviously, but it is the case. Especially we've said it with relievers forever in these early drafts because there's so much uncertainty, and it's slowly clearing up, to say the least. A couple bits of a trade here. Red Sox Pirates, very minute. We don't have to go deep into it. The main piece is Johan Oviedo goes to Boston to add more pitching depth. The password, Joe Nixon. I totally missed that.
Good luck. Yeah,
I had it memorized last year.
You did. That's right.
I don't know. But then, I don't know where that paper went. But yes,
it should be in your head, man. Come on.
Yeah, you've talked to me long enough. The password, head back to Pittsburgh, and the password was mentioned on my latest episode with Eric Cross as a later season deal. So it's I think it's more of a DC play. It gives more playing time for the password, at least potentially more playing time for the password. So I want to bring that up. And Oviedo, I think there's some ratio and strikeout, especially strikeout upside. Just a matter of when he gets to pitch, he will pitch. Think Cooper Criswell, who got DFA'd in this move. Think Dick Fitz. These kind of guys that got chances for Boston. There will be opportunities for Oviedo, and he should be one of the first ones up when that happens.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, at least, for the password, which, Johnston Garcia. Garcia is the key last name, Johnston Garcia. I feels like the playing time could be there. Anytime you go to the Pirates, like that's probably a good thing in terms of playing time, just because there isn't much competition. Still not all that excited, honestly. It was a 29% strikeout rate for Garcia in AAA last year, over 351 of plate appearances. So, like, to me, that's kind of, without much of a running game, that's kind of a red flag, at least unless you're deep in draft and holds.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm not going to deny that. I'll get it by the end of the show. There's a lot of Garcias in baseball, so this is taking me a while to find. All right, let's get Cedric Mullins. Signs a 1-year deal with the Rays. Again, not a massive move, but he's a platoon bat now on the perfect platoon team. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that one.
Not really. I like the ADP for Mullins. I was hoping he would sign somewhere where I wasn't going to get greedy and think Mullins is going to play every day, no matter where he signs. So I think platoon is kind of baked in there. And yeah, going to the Rays, that definitely is going to be a platoon for Cedric Mullins. But I don't know. It's the guy still last year. Cedric Mullins hit 17 homers, 22 steals. I mean, age 31 season. He's not an old quite yet. So, I mean, yeah, he hit 216, but a little bit better batting averages in the past for Mullins. I'm interested as like a 6th, 7th outfield type. Sure.
Yeah, I mentioned that on the Patreon. He's still in play. Like, he's been a 15-15, somewhere 20-20 in that range guy, even in the platoons, to your point.
Yep.
And they say they want him to be their starting center fielder in a platoon. So that's strong side. Like, he's going to get run. That kind of hampers Johnny DeLuca, who I've been targeting in drafts, as I thought he was going to play a lot in center field. And a lot can change. It's the Rays. And not like Josh Lowe is the pillar of health, all these type of things. But Cedric Mullins, I wouldn't give up on him just yet. It's a good landing spot. So this rings a bell. Found out how to pronounce the password. It's Joe's Tenson. I remember that. It's emphasis on the Joes. Joe's Tenson. Noel. Or Garcia. So, yeah. It's just like it sounds. All right. Other than that, I got nothing. I know you wanted to bring up Ron Washington because there's a fun Discord conversation there, but I don't know if we want to go there. We can if you want. I'm very excited about the move. But
I mean,
I almost commented on the Discord because you mentioned something about like maybe he'll help with the data and stuff. I'm like, see, this is a stat nerd forgetting about the real life baseball impacts of something. But I left it alone.
It was just, I think it was our good friend Bob Nightingale who hinted that signing Ron Washington might be the most impactful signing of anything this winter.
That's not true.
I'm like, I don't. So I mean, the thing here is, right, it's, I guess Ron Washington is some type of defensive wizard. And that could help at least infield for the Giants, and specifically for any ground ball pitchers. Looking at you, Logan Webb, that may help. We'll see. I don't know.
The other thing it helps a ton, and I've seen a lot of the beat reporters mention this in the last few hours. So, new manager, first-time manager, young manager, now has Bochy, Washington, and a couple other former managers on his staff to help him. I think that's another huge
that does
factor.
Make sense.
That's not factored into just like, oh, look at they hired. No, like he's at least getting some experience to help him run this show, and I think there's a lot to be said about that. So, yes,
that's true. That's a good point. But I did chuckle at Ron Washington being the most impactful.
Yeah,
I'm still not gonna. I like drafting olds on my teams, but I don't think I'm going to draft a 73-year-old.
Hey, to be fair,
Ron Washington.
his original tweet I think said the San Francisco A's. And he had like 3 just complete malfunctions, typical Bob Nightingale fashion. So that's as expected around that.
All good. Glad Washington's back, honestly, because I know he battled a bunch of health issues last year. So
yes, indeed. Well, all right, Ryan. The moment has come where the best part about this is, again, we don't know each other's rankings. Ryan actually spends time making projections. I literally just caveman math it on the back of a napkin, and we roll. And
I thought you were going to say Ryan actually spends time on this.
No, like I've talked about a lot of these pitchers. I did like 2 steamer episodes with Ben and some other things. Like I'm not in the dark on these. I'm in my 6th draft right now. Like it's not foreign to me, but at the same time, like Ryan actually put in like, hey, this guy's better than this guy because of this. Yeah, I'll have that thought, but it might not be as proven as he does, is my point. And that's what makes this very exciting. So Ryan, I'll let you kickstart what else we're going to talk about before we talk about our picks.
Yeah, I mean, so the other thing is like, yeah, so I did go through and I do for pitchers, I do my own projections on them manually. I don't rely on projection systems for pitchers like I do for hitters. But like, this will be a common theme. There's some of these guys are so damn close. I could change 10 innings of a pitcher and they move up or down 2 or 3 spots in the rankings. And who am I to think 10 innings I can get so close to someone as projecting within 10 innings? A couple wins, like 2 wins moves people up. And so that's for me when you say I kind of do this by projections, I do. That's just the way I think. Is I want to look at all the inputs and whatever the output gives me. That's kind of how I rank them unbiasedly, but it's just so close. You could tweak, 0.1 of ERA and things change. And to think we can get that precise when we're projecting pictures is just not true. So it's interesting for me. My biggest thing when I was looking at these guys was trying to project. And I've mentioned this many times in the past, previous shows, that how bad we are at it is just trying to get a health risk on all these guys and try and kind of turn that into an innings pitched projection. So that was really what I spent the most time on with this, and we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, to your point, my biggest thing is I think I changed them like 3 or 4 times. So many of these guys are so close that when it comes to draft day, like half the time I just play the waiting game because they all feel the same to me. So why push it if I don't have to? Now it's backfired tremendously in my recent DC. There's a reason why I actually took pitching a little more aggressively at some point in that draft, and that has backfired on my hitting in a big way. So yeah, that's why we do these early drafts for me, at least. It's kind of game plan differently through these. But let's get to it before I keep mumbling here. I think the first few will be pretty similar. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. Then things will get interesting. Yes, as Ryan writes them in.
So
for
the folks watching the stream, I've pulled up a little Google Doc. We'll track this as we go. I'll type in our picks as we go. I typed yours in before you even said it. Tariq Skubal, right?
It's Tariq Skubal. Yes, it's with a bullet. If he stays healthy, I will put if he fails, he fails. Like if he dies, he dies. Yeah. But he's the 8th back-to-back Cy Young strikeout ratios. You don't have to say a whole lot. It's basically a Pedro DeGrom type situation these days. If he's healthy, he's one with a bullet.
To the point where, like, I would even take Tariq Skubal over, or in like roughly around 3rd overall, 4th overall. Like, I mean, I think that's the discussion. If you're interested in Skubal, that's what you have to think about: is do you want to take him over like a that will happen. Yep. You want to take him over like a Bobby Witt or a J-Ram or a Soto type thing. So, Skubal's easily number 1. I don't think we need to spend too much time on him.
Now I'm curious where you went here because it seems like you might be shifting your tone on the second pick. So I'll let you go first here. Who's number 2, Ryan?
I'm going to go college football playoff committee switcheroo on everyone. I'm going to take Garrett Crochet number 2. I feel like it's Skubal, Skeen, Skubal as kind of or maybe that was more a last year thing, but I not only think Crochet, he's kind of like by ADP, the SP3. I think he's right there with Paul Skeens, and in terms of like ratios that I project out, the ratios are pretty much the same between those two. For me, the biggest thing is team context and wins for Garrett Crochet. I think that's what puts him over Paul Skeens. So for me, Garrett Crochet is my number 2 starting pitcher. It is very close. It is very close.
I'm proud of you. To be fair, in the DC that you and I are in, Skeens Skubal went in the first round of pick 8, Crochet went at 10, and Skeens went at 12. So it went in that order as well.
Yeah, which kind of prompted the discussion in the Discord, because I remember I said, like, I don't know if I can get behind Crochet over Skeens. And I think that's just a little bit of bias in me of like, I still think Crochet is somewhat fragile.
Yes.
But I have to kind of think that I'm not good at projecting pitcher injuries. And Garrett Crochet is someone who just came off, what did he throw last year? 200 innings. Yeah. So like, I mean, come on. So pitches deeper into the games than Skeens. Again, we're splitting hairs here. I mean, Skeens' ERA was a hell of a
below
lot
2
better.
back-to-back seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think that holds. So I think the ratios come out around even. I think the injury risk is a wash between the two, and I think the wins is what puts Crochet over the top.
I have Crochet at number 2 as well.
Come
Yeah, the first
on.
3 picks are going to be pretty boring for the two of us, but it just goes to your point. Like with Crochet, we are picking at just grasping at straws here. Team context goes a long ways. Like you can't predict wins, you can't predict health. This is something we've preached on this show, and I know I've said it. I'm pretty sure you're in like to your point you made about predicting health. Like I keep saying in the past, like I should have. You trust the skills of a Chris Sale, and if he finishes the 140 innings, you go from there. But like 2 years ago, he went off, and like why didn't we trust the skills? Crochet's done it back-to-back years. He's improved the load. Now if that backfires, so be it. Like, but even like a third, a half, a season of Garrett Crochet should be elite, all things considered. Yes, as Keegan says, all pitchers are fragile. So very true. So team context goes a tremendous way here with Crochet. Dude had 255 strikeouts this year. He had 209 the year before in 146 innings. So above a 30% K rate both seasons. Skeens bit, he was at 29.5 this last year. He had 216 Ks, 170 the year before. So again, we're grasping at straws. Both elite pitchers, like great pitchers. All 3 will go in the first round of pretty much every 15-team draft you're in. Some might go in the first round of all 12 teams by March. Like they're all very good pitchers. I'll just take Crochet over Skeens if it came to it. We all know I usually don't take a pitcher in the first round anyways, but that's where I would have it is Skubal, Crochet, Skeens, just as you do.
All right, we are in agreement so far. Who's your number 4? I feel like we'll agree here as well.
This was tough for me.
Okay.
I'm going Yamamoto.
Okay.
I almost went somewhere else, obviously, but I went Yamamoto, and this comes down to a few things, and a lot of it was discussions with Ben on the Steamer show. Like at first, I was like, okay, in September, Logan Gilbert was the clear 4. It felt like for everybody, consensus-wise. Yamamoto has this big October, and then just boom, skyrockets up. Well, we shouldn't do we want to count that? I don't know. Then it comes down to me is like, okay, do we trust this massive workload bump from 2024 to 2025? But he's had the workload in Japan. Shouldn't be too worried about that. What he did last year over his 173, and he's not even counting the postseason, almost mimicked Paul Skeens.
Yep.
That's all. Like it's like outside of the ERA, the WHIP, the strikeouts, better team. Like I could see a world where you put Yamamoto over Paul Skeens. I wouldn't, but I could see it. I really could. Because if you're going to factor in wins that much, so he's my number 4.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm with you on Yamamoto. I've got him. This is it for me. There's a pretty big gap between Skeens and Yamamoto. At first, I thought, maybe Yamamoto's pretty close to Skeens. I do think this is a pretty clear cut, and you'll see that in the ADPs. Yamamoto right now is going with like a full 15 picks.
Curiosity, can you dig into the difference, the gap between them, just out of curiosity?
For me, the gap is in terms of is just in wins with Skeens with Yamamoto over Skeens. That's the biggest thing. The ratios are roughly similar, but I think. Sorry, with Skeens, my bad. Right? With Skeens over Yamamoto, I think the wins with Yamamoto gets him somewhat close, but for me, my bad. I've misinterpreted it. The Skeens for me, I'm still not fully trusting Yamamoto's health, and not even health, but the team context works both ways with Yamamoto. Yes, you get the wins, but how often is he pitching 5-6 innings in a start and then 5 and diving? You had 211 innings of Yamamoto last year, coming off of 90 the year before. So it's just for me, it's the lack of volume with Yamamoto that where I've got Skeens higher.
Fair enough. I think we'll have the same 5 now. So who do you
got? Logan Gilbert.
Yeah, it's getting boring. It's going to pick up, I promise, folks. It's gonna pick up because we're about to leave the world of where most people think, and it's going to get really clouded real quick here. So
I've got Gilbert very close to Yamamoto, though. I don't think there's much of a difference between those two.
Almost flipped them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, same boat. I don't have a ton to add on Logan Gilbert. Like, it's just interesting. We thought this was one of the most durable pitchers. And to go back to Keegan's point, like all pitchers are fragile. Like this is true. Logan Gilbert had a flexor strain, cost him 7 weeks in the first half, only threw 130 innings in the regular season, threw a little bit more in the postseason, but skills did not really skip a beat at all. And this is someone whose 130 innings were all backloaded. Like I'd much rather, if you have a guy who goes down from 190, 200 innings in a season down to 130, I'd rather see him throw the 130 after he missed time at the beginning of the season than the other way around. So Logan Gilbert looked fine by the end of the year. Not too worried. A career high strikeout rate, 32% last year. So, I mean, skills were just as good, if not better than ever. So I could even see taking Gilbert over Yamamoto if you prefer that. Park is great too.
Yeah, that was one of the big ones. The strikeout rate, tremendous, even with the injury. Swinging strike rate, also the best of his career. So the stuff was elite. And again, can't predict injuries. So that's why I almost had Gilbert for. It's been a toss up. It's one of those. That's a section of the draft. Someone wants to take the first one, I'll take the second one as my SP1. And we will.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. I'm hoping we're different here, but I have a feeling we might not be. So who's your sixth?
I'm gonna go Brian Wu.
Okay, we are way off on that one. Beautiful.
There we go. All right. Going with the Wu man. Again, this is just based on the projections that I put out for Brian Wu. I've got him at a 3.40 ERA, 105 whip, 27% strikeout rate, and like 13 wins for the Mariners. So and 165 innings. Yes, there's some injury risk. We know the past with Brian Wu in terms of like all these little things, missed time near the end of the season last year, but it was a pec. Came back in the playoffs, didn't pitch a whole lot of innings in the postseason, but I think Brian Wu, from a skills perspective, is close to top 5 pitcher, and I'm not that concerned about the health with how he came back. And a pec, I just don't, it's not an arm injury. I think he's going to be fine. So Brian Wu, number 6. I know that's a little bit out on a limb because I think by ADP, Wu is like the 12th starting pitcher right now.
Yeah, I'll save my Wu pick for later and get my thoughts on him there, but he's definitely not 6th for me. My 6th, and I was wondering if you'd have him here, is Christopher Sanchez. I have big Christopher 6th, and I've had a lot of people tell me this. Well, not tell me, but I've heard them say it's crazy, heavy sinker, like this could backfire. But we've seen a guy improve back-to-back seasons. We've seen a sinker ball pitcher, as in Framber Valdez, do very well for years. We saw a guy that improved his swinging strike rate, his strikeout rate this past year. His changeup became really effective to go off of the sinker.
Yep.
In this, which created 6% less contact this year to go with like a near 3% increase in swinging strike rate. Across the board, I call him a kid improved. Now he's going to be 29 with their kids to me. Good team context. I know it can backfire. There is volatility in his profile just because the sinker ball or the ballpark can be a mess if he's not locating that. But I think the changeup's good enough to offset if the sinker's off once in a while. He's got the slider. God forbid he develops a 4th pitch. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. I really like Christopher Sanchez. I tip my cap to you because you've always been the Christopher Sanchez guy.
Yeah.
And I have him 6th. It's a guy that we've seen pitch the innings now. We've seen the 200-plus strikeouts last year. And, I'm all aboard. Give me Christopher Sanchez. This is where I usually would have had Zach Wheeler back in the day. So I'll put another Philly here in Christopher Sanchez.
Where would you guess I have Sanchez? Because I'll
you should have him 7th, I'm assuming.
10th.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Although it's really it is. This is what I mean. My disclaimer at the top. This is super close. Like, I don't have much of a difference between 6 and really 11 in this group, which 11 is one of your guys as well. So Christopher Sanchez is 10 for me. I don't know. This is for me, and like you just said, Christopher Sanchez is like my guy. I had a ton of him last year, a ton of him the year before. Loved the price, loved everything about Sanchez. For me, this is like a gut feel type of thing where you've got someone whose velocity has gone up. It's gone from 2 years ago, it was 92 to 94.5. Now last year was 95.5. Had that random forearm issue in the middle of the season last year. I wonder, and I hope I'm wrong, because Christopher Sanchez is the man. Everything you just said is completely valid. I wonder if we're getting to a kind of a tipping point in terms of the velocity and the volume and some of the warning signs injury-wise last year for Sanchez. But again, I mean, I don't know. Threw 202 innings last year and was one of the best pitchers in baseball. So you could very well be right on this one. Probably not something I'm willing to beer bet either at this point.
That's fine. Do you want me to give you my Brian Wu then, since you gave Christopher Sanchez?
Yeah. Where's your woo?
Can you guess?
I don't want to guess where your woo is. Just tell me.
Fair enough. Papa Blue. No, sorry. 18th.
What?
Yes, 18th.
All right, we may find a beer bet on that one. Holy crap.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Why so low? Just injury? Can't trust him?
Injury. 1,000%. And this is why people are going to say I'm so hypocritical, because like, don't do injury here, do injury here.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the lat injury. To me, that feels like,
pec.
Not a doctor. The pec, sorry. I feel like that could be him like trying to nurse. He should have Tommy John twice, it felt like, in the same season.
Yeah.
And the guy keeps pitching great. I guess he, putting pressure somewhere else, whatever. Like, again, pure speculation. Guy was elite. I'm not going to deny that at all. He was outstanding. I am beyond terrified of what could come from this scenario. And I get it. People can tell me I'm an idiot, like whatever. Don't just keep like and subscribe. Keep doing that. But this is the guy that I am very, very concerned about. And I'll be okay being wrong on no Brian Wu, just like I was last year. I ate my crow then. I'll eat it again this year without a problem.
So it's interesting. So like, obviously you will not be drafting Brian Wu.
No.
I guess you have to rank him though.
Yes.
Like,
that's
why would you like? Yeah. I don't know. That's the funny thing about rankings. It's like, if you don't do rankings, like if Brian Wu's off your board, you don't have to worry about him anymore. But you have to stick him somewhere. I don't even know if you take him 18th, given what you just said. So
no, I won't be drafted. Like, there's a question in the Discord. I would not be drafting Brian Wu. Period. Like, remember last year I got Max Muncy like 28th or something at third base. Like, he's on the list. There you go. Like, I'm not,
because he has to be, right?
Yeah, and that happens through all rankings. So I'm glad you mentioned that now. Like, in a perfect world, I would just leave off guys, but then the pitchforks come your direction about why they're not there. Like, they're already going to come
off a bunch of guys last year.
Yeah, well, yeah, not on purpose, but you did. Brian Wu, I'm still going to get grief for this. Fair enough, but hey, he's on the board, so there you go. I could have put him at 21st and really fired people up, and like not even mentioned him on the show. But yeah.
Going back, Michael C says Christopher Sanchez has a case for SP4. I can see it. Proserbius, I can see a decent argument for like 5 guys as SP4. I think I'd say 5 guys as SP6, but we'll keep going down the list. Papa Bloom says, will Aaron Nola be here? You got to stay awake till the end, man. See if
that's on the pockets of ADP round 18 when we get to that one.
All right, what do we got?
All right, who's your 7th? Who's your 7th?
Let's see. My number 7 is Chris Sale. Type him in.
That's good.
Yeah, I know Chris Sale is old, and I'm more willing to go with the olds on the hitter side than the pitcher side. But age 37 season, so there is some risk with that. But I just think once Chris Sale came back, second half last year was fine. The injury was like a weird broken rib type deal, so it wasn't arm related. It was kind of fluky, and I just think the skills show no sign of an age-related decline with Chris Sale. So we've seen him be able to go from 6 innings in 2022 to 103 to 107 before. I think he can easily jump from 136, which is what he did last year, back up to 160, 170, something like that, without a fluke injury like that. So I think Chris Sale's really good, and I think he's being discounted a little bit because of the injury that was fluky.
Yeah, I love Chris Sale. He's my 8th. Between my 7 and 8th, I kept flip-flopping. So I had zero problem with Sale at 7, 0 at all. I literally probably had Sale at 7 an hour ago. That's how much I kept changing things around.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I have zero concerns. I agree. The injury is fluky as heck. You roll with the talent. This is why the Brian Wu thing is going to keep ticking people off the more we talk about these guys, because I'm going to. I just planted my flag with him. I'm just not doing it. These other guys,
that's fine.
I can live with, but But Sale, I'm fine going back there. Even if it gives you 150, like cut the middle from the last 2 years, that should be 150 really good innings. And we found out that still plays very well in this era of baseball. So 0 problems with that. My number 7 is the other old Jacob deGrom. It was very tricky between the two because like Sale at least has put up 120 plus back-to-back years and everything. And we had this discussion last year with deGrom, like when do you take him? How many innings do you need? Yada, yada, yada. We were like, if you get 120 innings, you're going to get your value. Well, he gave you 172 with an ERA below 3. And it started dwindling as the season went on as he got hit around a little more. But we still got 27% K rate, which was not typical to deGrom. And again, it started deteriorating as the season went on. But a .92 whips, you got the ratios, you got the strikeouts, you got pretty much everything you signed up for where you drafted him. And I'm going to go back to the well again. They're going to let him pitch. It's a great ballpark to pitch in. We found that out a million times. So I'm going to take my chance. And honestly, that division outside of going to Sacramento, Astros and Mariners, like they're good, but still Seattle's a pitcher's ballpark also. Like these are good situations for Jacob deGrom to be in. And I'm gonna take deGrom 7, but like I said, him and Sale I kept flip-flopping nonstop.
Okay. I have Jacob deGrom. Ooh, I gotta count.
Oh, here we go.
Just bad. Just bad podcasting. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Better be in the top 20.
15. He's in the top 20. He's 15.
Wow. So we might have a deGrom versus Woo.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we do a deGrom versus Brian Woo.
Maybe we'll see. I want to see the rest of the rankings before I get going.
Yeah,
here.
I think we'll wrap it up with potential beer bet.
But that's the first one that stands out.
It's possible.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that. But by ADP, deGrom is the 9th pitcher off, and Woo's 12th by ADP. So
that's fair.
Maybe that's not crazy. I don't know, man. I know that deGrom threw 173 innings last year. I'm just taking the long view here. Someone who hasn't thrown 100.
That could make it more concerning. He threw 172 innings last year.
Yeah. He hasn't thrown 100 since COVID. So, and he's 38 years old. Like he is old.
Sale's 37.
Sale's younger than deGrom. deGrom is old.
Yeah, Sale's 37 a year.
Well, yeah, Sale's old too, but deGrom is like
you're making it sound like he's
capital OLD old is deGrom. So I don't know, man. I'm still not. I don't think deGrom's out of the woods health wise. I was wrong on this last year, and hey, you can be wrong on these guys, and that's fine. But yeah, I've got deGrom. I've got him for still really good ratios in terms of projections, but I've got him for like 150 innings. Again, total shot in the dark, but I think there's some risk.
I take it. Give them to me.
It doesn't get there, but I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. Like I'm saying that about deGrom, and then I have Brian Woo 6th. So
that's what I'm saying. We're going to contradict ourselves, but a lot of it in the end, like you look at your numbers, and then
it's the art of pitching projections. It's
well, and then your biases are going to come into play, and that's just how we play. If people say you don't draft with biases, you're so full of crap. Like eventually, some decisions are made where your opinion on something comes into play. Like no one. Okay, I won't say no one because some of these robots are going to go straight off their projections and whatever, but majority of people, there's at least like 10% of their thought process in there.
Yeah. All right. What do we got now?
Great question by Keegan here. If he's so old, then shouldn't he be number 1 for Ryan?
Yeah.
Great point, Keegan.
No. Verlander and Scherzer are the ways to my heart.
Okay. Who's your number 8?
My number 8 is your guy. I'm going Logan Webb.
Beautiful.
Great. I've got Logan Webb projected for the most innings of any starting pitcher this year. This is what is driving a lot of that, and I think Logan Webb deserves that projection. It's not really just an innings projection; it's just a reflection of what Logan Webb has been able to do over the last whatever number of seasons. Got him down for a 3.20 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, bunch of wins, decent strikeout rate, but you can knock Logan Webb for the K rate, but if you have a decent K rate over 200 plus innings, that's a lot of Ks. And last I checked, a lot of roto leagues don't use K rate as a category. They use strikeouts as a category. So Logan Webb is number 8 for me. I will have Logan Webb. I always have a lot of Logan Webb on a lot of teams. Worked out very well for me last year. I mean, 224 strikeouts last year.
Yep. Led the National League, folks.
Yeah, exactly. With the mediocre K rate. So yeah, Logan Webb number 8. And again, I could even go as high as 6th for Logan Webb, to be honest. If I'm trying to diversify, or if I've got a team where I really want pitcher health, I could totally see taking Logan Webb over Brian Wu or Chris Sale, who I technically right now have ranked higher. I could interchange those guys quite a bit.
Yeah, Webb's already on half my team, so I love the just the floor he brings into play. He's my 13th, but this next crew, put him in a hat and pull a name, is pretty much where I'm at. Like, I could sit with any of these guys. Webb is the perfect SP2 the way I like him, because he's just a horse. The SP1 part does concern me just because he's so volatile in certain aspects of his pitching. Like, he's going to throw the innings every year. We talk about this every time. Is he a strikeout guy this year? Is he going to get the ground ball? Like, there's a million things he does. Still all very, very good. Not knocking it at all. But there's enough volatility where he's more of an SP2 for me. And that's where I have him at 13th. Or he's an SP1 if you wait forever, which is fine. So I love him. I have zero problem with you having him at 8. I think he's very, very, very good. And he's basically the modern day Sandy. He's just an accumulating machine. There's 3 straight years over 200 innings, 4 straight over 190. Like, that's what you want. You want that just workhorse out there. And he does that in a phenomenal pitching ballpark.
Real quick, Michael C says, I'm way too whip conscious for Webb that high, but also get it. He's a tank. And that's a good point. I've got Logan Webb for a 120 whip, which is technically below your target. So
that's
you
high
need
for
to pair him with a better whip. That's the double-edged sword of ground balls. If you're a big ground ball guy, you're gonna have it's hard to have a really low whip with a bunch of ground balls. Ground balls of any batted ball type, except for line drives, of course, but a lot of those go through for hits.
All right, my number 9, and this is where, again, mix and match at your own leisure. I'm taking the upside potential here, and it could be very dicey, but we're going Cole Reagans at number 9. Okay. A huge Cole Reagans fan. Ben called this on the in the Discord. He knew this was going to happen. I love the strikeout upside of Cole Reagans. I love what we saw when he came back from being out with the shoulder injury. Now, that is terrifying. But let's not forget, we've seen Pablo Lopez shoulder injuries. We've seen so many pitchers. Like, I'm at the point where he finished the season healthy, and I have to trust that, as bad as that is. And this is a guy that threw 186 innings in 2024. Obviously, the injury last year derailed things, but strikeout machine, ratios like 115 to 120. I love everything about him. Another guy that pitches in a great pitching ballpark. And yeah, 28 years old. He's one of the younger guys we talked about so far on this show, it feels like. So give me Cole Reagans coming back and looking to put you up another 170, 180 innings and striking out everybody.
Do not draft list for me. Cole Reagans. I don't even have him in my top 20. I don't have him in my top 20.
Why is he on your draft list?
It's the shoulder.
He came back and pitched. Three outings, almost 15 innings.
3 outings. That's great. I'm not. It's a shoulder scare the hell out of me. You miss 3 months with a shoulder. You don't get surgery for it. You come back for 13 innings. I'm not sold. I'm not sold. So I have Cole Reagans.
Can I tell you what Pablo Lopez did when he came back from a shoulder injury? Do we want to talk about that?
I'm well aware. I'm well aware.
Okay, just asking for a friend.
That is just one example of
so you're saying there's a chance.
There is a chance, but I'm not willing to bank on that chance with the top 10 pitcher.
Where do you have him ranked?
26th.
Yeah, he will not be drafting Cole Reagans. Okay.
I will not be drafting Cole Reagans. I have him 26. That's because I have him for like 140 innings, and that just has him too far down the list.
If I could bother you for a second, can you change it to 170 innings and tell me where he ranks for you?
Yeah, but he's not going to.
Just for fun.
But yes, he would rank 16th.
Okay, so
let me give him a couple more wins. He would rank 12th. So he'd be right
now
there.
We're talking. Now you're in that pocket. I'm telling you about. You can mix and match.
No, Cole Reagans a great pitcher. No, I mean that's
well. So my point I'm trying to make is Ryan trusts his projections, fine. But where I'm saying I think he pitches with Ryan's projections, he's now in this pocket we're discussing.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
He is.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
if
what I was bringing.
Reagan's through at
Yeah.
170, yeah, he would be a top 10 pitcher for me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to argue. I'm trying to prove the
Yeah.
point where you use these projections to move like that kind of deal, and that's where it matches
Yep.
out.
So potential
right.
Brian Wu Reagans.
That's I know.
That could be a little
already
better.
brewing. That one's already brewing. Yep. All right. Well, let's find out someone you don't have on my list, and we'll start really talking.
Yeah, that's the problem. Cole Reagan, he's like not even close. He's not like 21 or 22. My man, 26.
He's way out there. Okay.
Ugh.
Wow. Who's your number 9?
Oh wait, my bad. My number 9 was Christopher Sanchez.
Okay.
Move back up. My number 10. And I'm surprised you haven't mentioned him yet. But it came out the same exact valuation as Christopher Sanchez. Came out right below Logan Webb. I'm gonna go Joe Ryan, number 10.
Oh yeah. That's my number 10 actually.
Is it okay? I hope Joe Ryan gets traded. That would be nice. There are rumors of that happening. Just always has had a really good strikeout rate, really good walk rate, like a strikeout minus walk for Joe Ryan of 22% or higher in each of the last 3 seasons. I'm willing to bet there's less than a handful of starting pitchers who can claim that. So, the home runs are an issue. John Ryan gives up a ton of fly balls, and some of those are hittable. So home runs are going to be an issue. But to kind of go back to what Michael C. said earlier about whip, he's kind of like the anti-Logan Webb in terms of like ground ball, fly ball. And so, your ERA might hurt a little bit with Joe Ryan. I still have Joe Ryan down for where do I have him? 3.40 ERA, but I think you've got an elite whip, ton of Ks and good volume for Joe Ryan as well. So Joe Ryan, number 10.
Yep, I love everything about him. Like that's why I have him slightly ahead of Logan Webb. I like them both. I have plenty, like fair shares of both. I think I have like at least one league where I waited on pitching, and they're my 1 and 2. I'm totally cool going to battle with that. Love Joe Ryan. Have not a whole lot more to add, but man, if he goes to the Mets, we're talking about a guy that could win 15 plus games with those ratios. That's a beautiful, beautiful place to be.
Mariners, imagine that park.
That would be outstanding as well. Maybe Luis Castillo could show him to
trade him for Brian Wu.
Oh, that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, my number 11. We'll mix this up here. I'm going Hunter Green at 11. I kept waiting to see when I'd put him in there because this is a massive injury guy, but it's like in reality, if I like DeGrom the way I do, if I like Reagan's the way I do, Hunter Green should probably be ahead of both of them. In a world I could hear that argument and not argue with someone basically. We know the strikeouts insane. Ratios are very good. He had a 0.94 whip this last year, 102 the year before. ERA's below 3. Again, strikeout monster. It's just can he stay healthy? It's a yearly tradition. 150 innings in 2024 was great. 107 last year brought us back to earth. So it's just one of those, if you're willing to take the risk on Hunter Green, which I have not yet. Like, this is a guy I love. I don't have any shares of him. I don't know if I will, but I do want to rank him, and I rank him 11th because I am a big believer in Ryan's putting him down there, way down the list. So is this an injury thing for you?
Yeah, that's it. Hunter Green comes out to 20th for me, but honestly, I think we have somewhat of a listener question like this. If there was anyone in the top 5 that could be going in this range that would end up as a top 5 pitcher, Hunter Green would be near the top of that list. So this is for me purely I'm not going to, and maybe my mind is too much in draft and hold and 15 teamers right now, but like, I'm just not going to take someone who hasn't thrown over 150 innings in a season as my SP1. And again, like that can burn me sometime. And if Hunter Green throws 180 or whatever, just like DeGrom did last year, then I miss out on the breakout, but I'm okay with that. So Hunter Green technically comes out to 20th, but I certainly understand if you want to take the shot there. If you get a full season of good health, it hasn't happened yet, but it could be pretty sweet if you have Hunter Green.
Who's your 11th?
Max Fried, I've got 11th. Not really for any like major reason other than just he's consistent. I know he had a forearm scare a couple years ago now, but if you just go down the innings pitch column for Max Fried over the last 5 years, 166, 185, and then 78 2 years ago with Atlanta, but then 174 and 195 last year. An extreme ground ball guy, a ground ball lefty. So pitching, that combination pitching in Yankee Stadium, that doesn't scare me that much. So for me, it's just the year-over-year consistency of Max Fried, the ground balls, 189 strikeouts last year. To me, it's just a pretty rock solid option.
Yeah, I have Fried at 14. I don't mind him at all. He's such a tough one for me to rank just because it's consistent. Like you said, he gets the innings. The ground balls are great. Strikeouts are a little less than a lot of these guys, which kind of pushes him down a little bit for me because if I'm trying to nitpick again, it's just minor little things with him, but he's consistent, and I probably shouldn't care as much. He's no pitcher is safe. That's the word you never want to use, but if you just look at year after year, he pretty much puts up similar stat lines every single season. There's a lot to be said about that. So, yeah, I got him at 14. It's a top 15 pitcher. It's still pretty darn good.
And kind of goes back to my Logan Webb comment. Like, it's not the strikeout rate with Fried, but I mean, he had more Ks than DeGrom last year.
Yeah.
So,
accumulation.
So much of that is accumulation, which again is just so hard to predict. I would not have had Max Fried projected for 195. I think I was off of Fried last year because of some of the forearm history there. But I don't know, man. 195 plus playoffs last year. That's tough to debate against.
All right, who's your number 12?
So this is a tier down. I will not end up with this guy in any drafts because he is 12th, but I'm going to go Hunter Brown.
That's who I have at 12.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
So we both have Hunter Brown 12th, and Hunter Brown is currently by ADP the 5th starting pitcher off the board. So it's just someone I think is very similar to Max Fried. Like the volume's there. Does in terms of ground ball, fly ball, it's a little bit different. Probably getting more Ks maybe with Hunter Brown, but they had the same swinging strike rate last year. Like I don't think Hunter Brown can throw out another 28% strikeout rate again like he did last year. I think Hunter Brown's a fine pitcher. And we're ranking him 12th. Like that's not shade at Hunter Brown. I just think the market on this one is way too high on Hunter Brown to take him 5th starting pitcher.
Yeah, I can't take him 5th at all. If he fell to like 10th, 11th, 12th, I'd definitely be in the conversation. There's no denying that. Because, like the strikeout rate came up tremendously, but his swinging strike went up a little bit as well, which is great. He made people miss more bats, less contact was made. These are the things you want to see from a young arm. So I still think he's very, very good. I understand the arguments that, if you dig deep on some of his underlying metrics, like it's not ideal. So I understand all that, but then I always tell myself the dude's like 26. He's still very, very young. Who's to say who he is at this point in time? So yeah, that's why I have him 12th. There's no shade on Hunter Brown. There's just no chance I'm taking him 5th when these pitchers are also tight. Like I could understand the differences, but yeah, he'll be my 12th for sure, and probably won't have any.
All right, so your 13th was Logan Webb. My 13th, we have not mentioned. That's your guy, dude. Freddie.
Oh yeah, I have him 16. I have him 16.
Okay, you got him 16. So we're pretty close.
Yeah, so this is again. These are all kind of like mix and match and pick your battles here.
Yeah. Do you want to talk Freddie or? That's your boy.
Talk Freddie. I always will talk Freddie. You know that. Yeah, Frederick is outstanding. He had 176 innings after 173 because people were like questioning workloads 3 straight years of 165 plus. So we're starting to enter that realm where it's farther and farther away from potential 200 inning guys. So keep that in mind when we're talking about these. But like his bugaboo used to be, it's okay, he's good, but he's a 3.5, 3.7 ERA last year, 2.7. Awesome. Like massive drop off. He's always been that guy where we look at, the Sierras and everything. You're like, okay, he's underachieving. He might have overachieved last year, but people get annoyed with me probably saying these things, but now it's 3 straight years of 200 plus strikeouts. That's tremendous in this game that we're talking about. And he's doing it with great ratios. He had the 1.21 in 2024, but it was 1.08 last year. It was 1.12 or below in the 3 previous seasons. So you're talking about a guy, if he gives you even a 3.5 ERA, but a low 1 whip with 200 Ks, like that's outstanding. That is very hard to find in this game of baseball with that consistency. It's like year after year after year. He's not going to probably go 200 innings. Probably I'd be willing to put money on that right now. But if he gives you 160 to 170 once again, I don't see how he hurts you in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, and the 200 inning thing for me, it's not really a health thing. It's just Freddie. He gives up walks. He doesn't pitch that deep into games. So there's that. But yeah, I'm right on. I'm everything you just said. I've got Freddie, even though he had a 2.70 ERA last year, I've got him back up to, I think you said 3.50. I've got him like 3.60.
Yeah,
but
I said it's always between 3.5 and 3.7 is usually where he sits, somewhere
yeah,
there.
yeah. Again, pitched on a good team, should get a ton of wins with Milwaukee, so that
might get traded too. That'd be a contender.
that helps.
Probably.
And that's true. Might get traded, and if he does get traded, it won't be to a bad team. So there's that. So yeah, I think Freddie's super stable, 200 plus Ks each of the last 3 seasons. That's Dylan Cease-esque, who I think we'll talk about at some point tonight. But Freddie's really good.
Yeah, we will.
Really
who's your 14th? Because Freed's my 14th.
My 14th is George Kirby. Let's go. I don't even think this is that out of your side. Is he even in your top 20?
He's 19th.
Okay.
So we're not that far off.
Yeah, we're not that far off. Let me type him in there for you. Kirby at 19th. I was hoping to have him ranked because this is one I would.
It's your guy.
I would beer bet for. I think a lot of George Kirby's stats last year, if you look at kind of the season-long line, were driven by he was just not ready. Returning from shoulder inflammation early in the season, the first few starts, he just looked really bad, really rusty. Had a blow up or two late in the season as well, so I can't. I do have to acknowledge
his only real good starts were against the Angels.
Do have to acknowledge that. Did I have a couple 14 strikeout starts against the wonderful Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim? But I just think this is someone I think you got to take the first half, second half splits with. I think you throw away the first half just because he was working his way back. It was kind of some of that was spring training really for George Kirby. And the second half had an excellent swing strike, 13.5% swinging strike. That supported a big jump in Ks in the second half for Kirby. And we all know the whip, which was elevated last year for Kirby, 123 last year. But I think the track record of this guy, the volume of this guy, still 28 years old. Yeah, shoulder blip last year. Reason number 576 why we can't try and predict pitcher injuries. But I think he just got back on track in the second half last year, and I think he's back to who he was entering the season, which a year ago, George Kirby was a top, I think, 60, 75 type pick, and you're getting that at quite a bit later in the draft this year.
Yeah, no, you're betting on talent, not what took place last year, which is fine. I don't disagree with that, but yeah, I didn't see anything that made me too excited. Hopefully it is a battle back from injuries, ready to go this year, but the Angels, you and I could probably strike out 4 or 5 Angels these days. I said 4 or 5. I was being generous. I just wasn't impressed at all with George Kirby. Like, I know he's battling back. He reminds me of Spencer Strider, and I want nothing to do with Strider this year either. So Kirby's got to show me a little more besides, because he used to rely on not walking guys and, do this and that, and he wasn't doing much of anything for me last year. So that's where I'm at on him. He's on my basically do not draft. He won't. Woo and Kirby, they're 18 and 19 because they have to be ranked according to the list for me.
Well, they don't have to be. You could Reagan's them like I did.
No, I'm a nicer guy than you.
I mean, dude, Kirby is he's the 18th starting pitcher off the board. If you've got a 19th, you're right on track, which is maybe a more of a your reaction on the well, just in terms of so you have Peralta and Kirby 4 spots apart, and just judging on what you said on Peralta versus Kirby, and even Woo. I mean, Woo's you're not drafting, and you've got Peralta just.
I should probably switch Peralta and Brown. Honestly,
you can. There's still time.
Yeah, do it. Switch Peralta and Brown. Let's go with that. Put Brown down to 16. So I'm telling you, I did this all day today. It was not
Hunter Brown. Good hell, 16th now, because you were glowing about Peralta. You weren't touching Woo, and you got him 2 spots apart. But I'm just saying, maybe that's in your opinion, that's where starting pitching is SP1 or good SP2s. Maybe that's where that falls off a cliff for you.
It does start to drop off real quick here after 15. The rest of them get real murky for me.
Okay.
Speaking of 15, the Jesus Lizard himself, Jesus Luzardo.
Okay.
We are going Jesus Luzardo, coming off 183 and 2/3 innings after an injured 2024. 3.92 ERA. We talked about he had 2 rough outings. Outside of that, absolutely elite. The fact he came back and pitched another month and a half or so after those blowups and looked like the guy we saw the first half of the season, I'm all aboard. We saw the strikeout rate was great. The whip is going to be an issue. This is why he's farther down the list, because strikeouts are awesome, but the walks and all that, the goodies behind that are not what you want. But this is a guy that is going to get you innings. He's going to get you a ton of strikeouts, 200 or more Ks in 2 out of the last 3 seasons, and on a good Phillies team. So I like what Luzardo can do. If he stays healthy, he's still one of the best. Like he's a Freddie Peralta light to me. The whip separates the two of them when I talk about Peralta and Luzardo.
I just wrote in Luzardo at 18th. That's where I have Luzardo. And so we're both on board there, because by ADP, Luzardo's like the 23rd starting pitcher off the board. So we both like Luzardo more than the market. So I fully agree. Fully agree.
Who do you got at 16?
Let's see. I have Dylan Cease at 16.
Oh, yes. I have him at 17.
God, man. You would have thought we did these rankings, some of these rankings next to each other.
I didn't. I thought you weren't going to rank them.
No.
Just to spite me.
Cease is fine. I just think this is the ERA pendulum. I mean, you look at the ERA pendulum for Dylan Cease. I mean, it's are you either going to get a mid-4s ERA or he spiked a 2.20 ERA back in 2022. I'm thinking for Dylan Cease, it's more what do I have him at? I've got Cease at a 3.70 ERA, a 120 whip, but just a ton of Ks and a ton of volume. And on the Blue Jays, probably a good amount of wins. And for me, that comes out to 16th overall. Cease is the 20th pitcher off the board by ADP. Sorry.
Yeah, it's quite a similar projection to where I kind of would think Luzardo sits as well. So perfect range for these guys. Agreed. And Cease, I don't think the listeners need to hear me talk about him anymore.
No,
like absolutely, dude's a beast.
You got Cease and Woo next to each other.
One guy I will have shares of. One guy I will not.
You
guys can cease and desist on that one.
You should just execute Woo from your list here.
No, because I'm gonna get people are gonna be clipping things left and right. I'm gonna hear it all year. I can already see it coming.
Nobody clips this show except for me.
No, that's true. So yes, there will be clips later on about this. Like not maybe posted tomorrow, but saved for a later date about this. Who do you have at 7? Now I'm really curious because we're getting towards the end here. So who do you have at 17?
17, I have Nick Pivetta at 17.
He's just outside my 20. He was a tough one for me. So yeah.
I just think like a decent SP2, someone who has racked up innings recently. I'm not expecting another sub-3 ERA. We talked about Nick Pivetta in pretty good detail in our panel at First Pitch Arizona, but this is someone who's just always had really good strikeout rates. I think he likes the situation in San Diego. I think the fly ball tilt kind of plays in that park. And so I think Nick Pivetta, I've got him down for a 3.70 ERA, 1.15 whip. Again, that reflects that fly ball tilt. You're going to have a little bit of an elevated ERA, but your whip's going to be pretty damn good. With 175 innings, 27% K rate, 11 wins. Again, for me, that comes out at 19, and I think that's probably I'm happy with that. I would click that button. I may take, again, looking at my rankings here, I'd probably take Luzardo over Pivetta, looking at them next to each other, but it's super close.
You still can.
Yeah, I guess I still can. Let me move that. Let me put Pivetta at 18.
I like Pivetta. Like he was my guy in the spotlight on the panel in FPAS, and it primarily came down to he ran real well in the home run department last year. I still think he's great. Think he's great. But he's like 22nd for me right now. So I'm not going to complain about 18 at all.
Okay.
Who's your 19?
19, I have Sonny Gray.
Nice. Okay.
At 19. I think this is I know this is going out on a limb. Sonny Gray is, I think, the 45th starting pitcher by ADP. So
I love Sonny Gray, so I'm excited about this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think Sonny Gray is a really good pitcher. The volume has been there over the last 3 seasons, 184, 166, and 181 innings pitched. I do not think Sonny Gray deserved a 4.28 ERA. You look at the underlying skills, this is more of like a 3.30 type ERA guy with a good whip and a lot of strikeouts. Starting to get up there, age 36 season, but health wise, it's been there for Sonny Gray. I think in Boston, that's going to work out quite well for him. So yeah, Sonny Gray at 19. I will have a lot of Sonny Gray this year.
Yeah, no, I always have a lot of Sonny Gray, so no qualms about that one at all. I fully support that. I don't have him ranked that high, but he's like top 25 for me, so no complaints with that. With that being said, my number 20.
Who do we have?
You want to guess?
I'm going to guess. Yes, I do want to guess. I'm going to guess Schwellenbach.
Nope. He was a discussion, but no. This was a pitcher that I drafted in the Meatball draft 2 years ago and got hurt. Yuri Perez.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Max Scherzer.
No. We're not going on that kind of limb. I'm going Yuri. 23 years old this year. We know there's the injuries and whatnot, but he did put up 95 innings at the big league level, 22 in the minor leagues. So we saw a pretty good workload, almost 120 innings for Yuri last year, which is big for everything we've seen from him in the past. When he came back in September, his last 4 starts in September, one was even in Coors with 5 shutout innings. He allowed 6 runs over 20 innings pitched with 33 strikeouts and 4 walks, which was great to see as well. So we saw that improvement. We know the dude's just lights out. He's got electric stuff. It's more, can he stay healthy and can he not walk the farm is what it comes down to with Yuri Perez. Last year, he lowered his walk rate to 8%, which is much better than what we've seen for the like. He did that in 2023, I guess, but we didn't see it 2024. So year back from surgery, 105 whip to go with all the goodies. I love everything about Yuri. This is one of those guys that I could see. We saw, like I said, 120 innings last year between the levels. If we get 160, this is the guy that could get a push. You give him like 160 innings, this could be a top 10 fantasy pitcher if things work out right. It's a lot of what ifs, but skills, he has them.
No, and I can see that. I mean, he's obviously dinged with the innings pitch history because of Tommy John, and you figured how he finished this season. Like, he's healthy right now, and who's to say he can't go, like you said, up to like 150, 160, something like that. I mean, in the forecaster, Yuri Perez, we gave him an upside of 3.25 ERA, 200 strikeouts. So
that's pretty awesome at 20th overall.
Exactly.
A pitcher.
So I mean, again, like, it's actually interesting seeing our 20th pitchers, Yuri Perez and Hunter Green, 2
volatile studs.
Yeah, like you could make some hay with those 2 guys, or I don't know, the hay makes you. That's not a saying.
I never heard that one, but yeah. But I usually have the dumb like puns.
And that was bad. That was really bad. God,
I might have to make a bumper sticker. You make the hay makes whatever. I don't know. But like the Perez, Hunter Green guys, those are the type of guys, like, if you can make them your SP2s and you're confident of backing up with like a Sonny Gray as your SP3 or something, like, you can really just go nuts with your rotation of like the Perez or the Green pays off. Like, they catapult you in a big way. So yeah, you gotta take a chance on Yuri Perez this year. That's why I was pushing for him in our Discord.
He was
democracy
in the
draft.
He got picked, right?
Yeah. I was politicking for him.
You were trying to swing votes at the end there.
I didn't go that far. That was for Michael Harris of all people. Yes,
there was some in the democracy draft, some controversy on some of our picks with some last minute vote changes.
The democracy draft almost got shut down. We almost had to have someone jump in and reopen things because it got a little heated in there.
I see at the end there, but we no fraud, no voter fraud.
All right, so Brian Wu and Kirby are definitely the 2 that you hate the most on mine. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how
who do you hate the most? I mean, Brian Wu, you hate the most on mine. Brian Wu is beer bet.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who to beer bet him against.
I think so. In the chat, Michael C says DeGrom versus Wu. I'll do Cole Reagans versus Brian Wu. I think that's fair.
I think that's where I was going to,
because I don't even have Reagans ranked.
Yeah, that's right. He's 26 for you. Yeah, let's do it. Put it on. Wu versus Reagans. Which player rater? How are we rating it? How are we doing this?
I mean, knowing these 2, we probably won't need a player rater. It'll be quite obvious.
This will be my freaking what's his name? Nestor Cortez, Robbie Ray bet. Okay,
The fall of Cortez.
They have to pitch at least one inning.
No, screw that. Because I mean, injury is baked into the beer bet.
Yes,
here.
That's true.
That's why I'm fading Cole Reagans. No,
okay.
when Cole Reagans needs a new shoulder in March, I will chalk this up. We'll just go Fangraphs player rater. I don't think it'll be close one way or the other.
I don't think it will be either.
They're just volatile.
Yes, indeed. All right,
so man. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. We got a lot of a lot of Discord questions here. Let me open it up, and I appreciate Canton Dog. We'll talk about him in a minute. You guys will know why I appreciate him, but I purposely thumbsed up the questions so I could go through this.
You're getting too smart. See, we're trying to spam it's a running again. It goes back to the top of the show why we're so appreciative of our listeners. I think everyone gets a kick out of Bubba trying to sift through the show questions channel when like various chats go off. And I guess you found a way around that now, which is no fun.
Yep. Steve Brunn says, is there a starting pitcher in either of or each other's top 20 that you won't be drafting? Yes, Brian Wu.
Cole Reagans.
Yep. That was easy. That's the beer bet, folks. Andy Splinter says round number 300 gives you guys the biggest Bailey Ober vibes. Yes, that's true. Guy you're both higher on that falls flat on his face. So someone we're high on that we think falls flat on their face.
That's a really good question. And I'm going to take the injury side out of it. I'm just from a skills perspective. I think same team. I think Joe Ryan could fall flat on his face just because of the fly ball risk. If he runs into a lot of home run luck, bad luck, like Bailey Ober did last year, or just runs into a lot of homers, that could really set Joe Ryan back. So I'll say Joe Ryan just because of the fly balls.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's just tricky. I hate to say this. He's my number 6, but I'll go Christopher Sanchez. If the sinker and the changeup aren't working together, he's not as dominant by any means. But I don't think that's going to happen. But if I could see a guy taking a big step backwards, it could be a guy like Christopher Sanchez.
Okay.
Ben Bingham says, are there any guys in your own list that you want just one share of or a flyer but don't really trust? That's Hunter Green. Yes.
Yeah. I'm
same. We're both on him. I just ranked him higher, but yes, we're both there. Then Ben also says, when you're on the clock and your top ranked guy is there, but you already have some shares of him, when do you feel the need to diversify your shares and pick someone else? That is a good question.
That is a good question. I don't know. These are my guys for a reason, so I tend not to diversify. I mean, to a point. Like, I'm not going to have every team with Brian Wu on it. Like that's not gonna be good.
It'll make my high noon taste that much sweeter.
But no, I think especially, yeah, I try to diversify a little bit, but I don't want to, like, it doesn't make sense just to do a ton of drafts and draft different players in every draft to diversify. Like, I think you should somewhat heavily favor the guys you like. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out on, not on every team, but you still have some other teams that are out there. So I'm very rarely going to have anyone with any teams with, everyone on the same team unless it's late in the draft. But that said, I still will prioritize the guys I like.
Yeah, most of my top pitchers, I'll have out of that top 20 list, I'll probably have like 4 or 5 of them on my teams. So it's not a lot of diversification. It'll be pretty centric, and I'll probably be the bottom half of that top 20 because I just don't go early on pitching. I'll mix up my pitchers in the middle of the draft more than I will in the top.
And there's a lot of them are so close too, like we've been saying. Yeah. So it's easy to just pick a different one when they're that close.
Looks me thumbs up. There we go. Kevin A says, great Bloom board material, having one for each position. You guys update them a couple times in season. Oh, yes, we do update stuff eventually.
I'm gonna start thumbs upping all these. So
you're starting to scream. Like, I don't think I thumbs up that one. Mailman Mike says, after the top 3, assuming Scooble, Skeens, Crochet, name a few that both of you think have the potential to crack the top 3 this year.
So after the top 3, I would say Hunter Green. I would even give a shout to to your guy, to Yuri Perez. And I think a full season of Chris Sale is a top 3 pitcher too.
Yeah, Hunter Green and Perez for me are the ones that easily move up there. And dude, there's a couple guys I'm like, I think Peralta just needs the volume. Webb was a Cy Young guy 2 years in a row. Like, I'm still a believer in Jesus Luzardo. It's just that whip's got to get better. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. But yeah, Green and Yuri are probably Yuri. I think legit is God. Just stay healthy would be amazing. BP or Dustin says there has to be at least one beer bet. So Dustin, you win. BP says, can Chris Sale repeat 2024? You say yes.
I given where I have Sale ranked, yes. So 2024 was 178 innings of a 238 ERA, 101 WHIP. I don't know, and 18 wins. Like, no, I don't think it's safe to expect that. Can he do it? Sure, but I think he could approach it. I don't think he will repeat that. I don't think anyone will repeat that except for maybe Scooble.
By the way, Bloom has gone and thumbs up every freaking one of these.
I went in and thumbs up.
So I just noticed now they have 3s and other numbers by them. Steve Stoughton says, congrats on 300. How late in the NFBC 50 or a DC have you waited to draft your first starting pitcher?
I haven't done a 50 yet. So in the 15-teamer, it's been 5th round.
Yeah, I'd say it's usually like round 5. Usually as late as I go into 15. I think I'll go around 7 or 8 and a 12 if I feel like waiting. Colin says, in an ideal draft, how many of your top 20 guys would you want in your rotation at the end of a draft? Ideal 3, but probably 2.
Yeah, I mean, ideally 3, but likely 1 or 2, honestly, depending on what the hitter build looks like.
Yeah, if you have 2, you're almost going pocket aces. It feels like you're going 2 in like the first 5 rounds, which usually doesn't happen for me.
Yeah.
Colin M says, how high is Bloom on Nola?
Well, I just drafted him in our draft and hold. So, but that was like the 15th round. 15th round, I'm willing to take Aaron Nola. Not in the top 20.
Canton Dog says, when evaluating pitchers, which metrics do both of you like to utilize? Sierra, walk per 9, whip, etc. K to walk is our go-to.
K to walk's always the go-to. You can go a ton of different ways from there, but in general, K to walk, I would even look at first and second half splits depending on the context for a player. If they're young, if they were coming off injury like a Sandy or a Yuri Perez in the first half, or a Logan Gilbert I mentioned, or a George Kirby, you can focus in a little bit more on that second half K minus walk, but K minus walk always
K minus walk. And then B Welch says, how much do you factor in anticipated health and volume in the top 20? How does that change as you get further along in the draft?
Factors in a ton, and honestly, it doesn't change that much as I get further along in the draft. I want to try and draft like 5 or 6 starting pitchers that I think I can count on, and I'll take flyers after that. But I'm pretty stringent on pitchers who I don't think will make it through the season healthy, and even in the kind of middle rounds, I don't know. I don't veer too far from it.
Yeah, I usually try not to worry too much about injuries outside of my dislike for Brian Wu, of course. The rest of them, most of the other guys, I gave their normal share of love. But I don't try to pick injured guys as often as I can. Like, that'll be a deal breaker if I have to debate between 2 guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, like Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, when I took Zach Wheeler, the reports
I know.
The recent reports.
I'm just getting under your skin.
Haven't taken him since then. Because that latest report was still not horrible, but not what you wanted to hear. All right. That wraps up episode 300. Uncle Ted, you're about to get banned from the chat with that last comment. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, that's that's a bannable comment, man. It's
bannable comment. Any final thoughts as we wrap up 300 and another entertaining top 20 pitching rankings?
Yeah. Good to get another beer bet on the board. Good to get 300 cleared and out of the way, and we'll be at 400 next October, November, something like that. Maybe FPAS 26 will be at 400. Cool. So keep on keeping on. Congrats, man, and thank you to the listeners for sticking with us through 300 and many more.
Yep, I fully agree with everything Ryan just said there, and hopefully you guys are ready for what's next with Bubba and the Bloom. But until then, Make sure you follow Ryan on Twitter at RyanBHQ, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, and on Patreon at patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. I'm on Twitter at BDentric. This was Bubba and the Bloom, episode 300. Catch you all next time.